don't know how I ended up. I got two lives running at the same time. I don't know how. Well, alive and Can you hear me? Alright, cool. That's a lot of noise. What the fuck is that sound? Is it this? Okay, this is what you lot say. Is the sound of that fucking? Okay, cool. I'll get it now. Where's the thingy? So, moving behind. Let me just set this up. Give me a second, please. Alright, let me just fit this up there. You lot pick the topic if you got one, or I'm gonna just let these lot come in and talk about whatever they were talking about. You feel me? So I'm gonna send the link. I did most of you already, so you didn't even need the link. Yeah. Cool. I think you lot are there now.
Yo, fam.
Yes, G, welcome.
No, man, them man are going at it, boy.
What are they going at?
They're going at it. Oh, they're going at it on this Ellen G. White. They're saying if she had visions, is she a prophet? It's getting spicy. I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link in the back chat. I think you know what I mean. Link to this one. I know you added everyone, but
no, I put the link in there already.
Oh, you put it in there. Okay.
Yeah. They'll come over still.
Yeah. What going on, brother? Yeah, my missus has gone out for her birthday, man. So the little man's finally stopped his temper tantrums and he's finally gone to sleep.
I've been invited out by my mate, but I got no energy, man.
Yeah, it's my missus' birthday, man. So wrapped her presents and got her cards and it's easy.
I'm just gonna set this up and then and see. I don't know. I doubt I'm gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna look to see what the temperature is. Shahid's in the building.
Definitely need Ezra up in there, man. Where you at, Ezra, man?
I added him, funny enough. I always add
Ezra. I know you always add Ezra and you always add me still. I always see that still. But most of the weekdays, I'm at work, innit? So
yeah.
I can't come in. By the time I come in, it's late, man.
This week I've been in chat. I've been in like hangouts, but Well, I ain't even really been able to proper support them myself and they're on my channel and all sorts. Get me and just man them just chat. Just been so busy. Yeah.
Yeah, them man are going hard. That's it's hard to hard for them, man.
I'll start kicking, man. I do. I've got to go in there and finance them because they're never like. Okay. All I've got to do is add to. Let me find Zulu.
I love Soil, man. God, our TM was triggered, man.
He triggered him.
He was triggered.
Okay, they're leaving.
Yeah. Depart. I got a question. What's everyone here's spiritual journey, if you've had one, and what's your earliest moments about finding out about religion? That's a quick question still.
That's not quick.
That's like a long thing. It's a quick thing, basically.
I'll make it quick then, man.
Alvin's up in the building.
I hope the brother come back here so I can see why he left Christianity, so he can talk to me. Ooh. And maybe I could get some edification to see, what was his grievances.
Which brother you on about?
The brother Soil. He was. I don't know if he was talking to Zulu. Because he left the church. I left the church. Everybody left the church. But I'm still a believer, which I'm sure all y'all are too.
Wait, you're a believer in the church, but you don't go to church all the time.
I'm a believer in the book, but the church capitalist system is it's something different from what you see in first century what you want to call it, Christianity or even Judaism. It's a different animal.
I see that story.
And that's why a lot of people be leaving the church. Like even people that believe in the Bible leaving the church. Cause something wrong.
Do tell.
I mean, it's like you got pastors with helicopters, man, going from one church to another, bro. There's this pastor in Houston.
We mean Creflo Dollar, you mean, man, like Creflo Dollar?
Yeah, Creflo Dollar. But there's this other pastor who, in Houston, he has 2 churches in Houston. He uses a helicopter to go to each church instead of just drive. And I'm like, what his reasoning is, hey, this is the only way I can get on time because of the Houston traffic. So I have to take the helicopter in order to get over there on time.
Maybe it's a divine thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's divine. I don't know from what source though. Yeah, it could be divine. You know what I'm saying? Probably not the likes. I hope Zulu come in here. I need to talk to Zulu. He's still in the other chat. I think I guess they talk. I guess he didn't want to do it live. I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Monday I got that boy.
No, I don't get that. Alvin, not pissing me off yet. 1 sec. Not pissing off. Zulu was off.
Thanos is dealt with them.
Yeah, Zulu was off the chat. Yeah. He came just to get involved to shut up. That's rude, bro.
Yeah. Well, look,
that was very rude of him. I'm gonna talk to Zulu. Let's talk about it. It's Kukula. What is he to come here and even do?
See, I'm gonna talk to Zulu because it's important to put your beliefs on display, not for y'all, but for yourself. Okay, so you in a hangout with, let's say this, 6, 7 guys that believe the opposite of you. That's a perfect opportunity to see if you really believe the stuff you say. You know what I'm saying? If you could get up in there and you getting jetted with question after question after question after question, right? That's you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something. Now, hey Sawyer, what's your name, bro? I keep calling you Sawyer or whatever.
Nah, I can't tell you my real name. Just call me Funky Soil or Soil Funky or Soil.
Funky
Man.
Soil, man. That make it
Man,
seem
that-
like you got manure in your. All right,
Hey,
look.
manure is the best soil. Manure is the best soil. Though.
Man, so look,
Manure the
man.
best soil, though, dog.
So let's broaden it, right? So
Yeah.
is it just the Seventh-day Adventist Church, or just the Bible in general? I won't even say
No, it's just
Christianity.
no. Listen, it's the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Then I'm gonna repeat this again. I joined the car. Listen, I joined the car. I like some of the how they treat the 7th day like Saturday. That's why I kind of fell into it. How they really use the Bible on that part. But when you actually see that Ellen G. White, another human being, have so much reverence or like so much renown in the church, where like I'm gonna say again, you have to go probably a year of going to the church just to figure out there's a person called Ellen G. White. And when you want to ask about it during a Bible study, you're not ready for that lecture. You're not ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
So like now, are you a believer now of any kind, or you just like
No,
chilling?
listen, no, I'm scientific based, man. Now I'm more of a mixture of you say Kemetic philosophy, Christianity, Islam, African spirituality. All of them got points that you can understand and grasp from. They say eat the meat and spit out the bones. That's pretty much what I do with most of the religions around the world.
You operate with a scalpel instead of an axe. Right?
You damn right, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. All right, then. Well, I mean, shoot, I ain't got no problem with that. I mean,
no, but the thing is, Zulu, I knew he was gonna get triggered because, man, listen, I know how ingrained Ellen G. White is with the church. You're talking to somebody who's there, seen it. So I knew he was gonna get triggered. That's what I'm saying. Do you really want to continue?
But see, that's the thing, though, man. I'm gonna talk to him because I want him to be able to talk about those things without getting animated, right? Because it's good. It's like, let's say I'm not, I ain't the Seventh-day Adventist, but let's say you started talking to him and he was calm and started saying something, he could have got you back in.
Not really. Not really. Like I was just trying to tell him. He was just trying to tell me that the Bible is historically accurate, and I'm trying to tell him you have to prove every single point of it to tell me that it's historically accurate, and it's gonna be hard for him to do that. This is when I was younger. This one I was like 17 years old, 19. I left out of it 19 when I realized it. That's what I'm saying. He's young. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wasn't reading books at that time. You know what I'm trying to say? I was still in the streets doing all types of shit.
So when you talk about historical accuracy, it's kind of like with the scalpel thing, right? So it's more of a matter of this thing right here can be confirmed, and this thing right here can't be confirmed, right? So it's like in history, it's more of a matter of this more than likely happened, or this probably didn't happen because we ain't got enough evidence, right? So
everything is probability, man. I'm not gonna say we can't prove it. It was like 5,000 years ago. We'll say some of the ancient, like the flood and all of this type of shit. So, you know what I'm saying? It's very hard to prove. All the carbon dating stuff is gone because carbon decomposes. You have a lot of bacteria that's gonna eat up those remains. And look in the area where it is.
I'll put it to you like this: in the field of biblical archaeology, most of the stuff that they find that's attested is like after 1000 BC. Like after 1000 BC, that's when they start seeing, artifacts. You start seeing the tail dance still. You started seeing the silver. You start seeing things, and that's because Israel finally became a kingdom instead of just a wandering group of like nomads. Because you go to North Africa, or even in Saudi Arabia, the Israelites were living like that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Just desert dwelling, pastoralist, you live that kind of lifestyle. You're not going to leave behind a lot of artifacts. You know what I'm saying? Because you're on the move. You're not building nothing.
But let me tell you something. Who problem that is? Mine or theirs to prove?
No, and that's the great point. It shouldn't be a problem because.
So hold on. So therefore, you post that point right there because just because you articulate that point, we're gonna extrapolate that the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob is the true God of the universe.
No. That point is a historical point, not a theological point. I'm saying that the reason why you wouldn't find evidence for Abraham or Jacob or Isaac is because they lived like modern day Bedouins live. They're on the move. They're not writing nothing. They're not building nothing. Abraham wasn't a king, but when you get to David, Solomon, this little area of the kingdom of Israel, Judah, now all of a sudden we start seeing archaeology of some stuff.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So it's
I agree with the modern archaeology. Remember this is a theological discussion we're having because it's about Ellen G. White and her place in the Bible. Historical part is like, you know what I'm saying? You're up a tough road if you want to prove that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, here's the thing.
You can.
I want to go down the Ellen G. White road. Forget about everything else. Go down
that's how I thought was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Zulu ain't here, so I guess you could deal with me.
Oh, sorry, he not here. Damn, I didn't realize.
Yeah, forget about Zulu. I don't know what it was. This Ellen G. White, this woman.
Yeah,
man, if Zulu's not here, how we gonna really like his side?
That's what I'm saying. Let's go down. No, we go down.
Hey, bro, listen. They're not even going to be a debate, bro. We can discuss it.
It's not a debate. We talking. Look, me and the brother talking. We not hostile.
Man, we from America, man. I understand it, man. You got to get
it. We ain't hostile. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to the Bible, it really depends on what we talking about. So if we talking about stuff like the Babylonian exile, the Aramaean season Gath, things like that, we can look and be like, okay, like the Assyrian deportation, we can be like, okay, that happened because it's not just in the Bible, but we got records from the Assyrians saying they did this and that, right? It's just before 1000 BC, you dealing with nomadic people that aren't writing anything really. They're not building nothing. So it's going to be difficult to pinpoint artifacts to like prove at Abraham,
Abraham's a real G.
Yeah.
I don't need no artifact or nothing.
I said right now the reason why I would say Abraham existed is because the life of Abraham is relatively mundane. I mean, it's the life of a nomadic person wandering around the Levant, and the Jews are saying, "Hey, this is our ancestor." The claim itself is not that miraculous. I mean, it's not that miraculous of a claim, actually, that Abraham existed.
You're saying Abraham, but I'm talking about the Abraham.
Oh, the Abraham. I'm talking about the Abraham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody might mute their mic. Somebody talking?
No, the guy in the video.
Oh, you are okay, yeah. So when it comes to and then when you look at a lot of stuff in the Bible now, I get the whole. It may seem like a song and dance, but it's not a song and dance. The whole literal versus metaphor thing, right? I get why people say something like that.
Let me ask you something. So do you use the Bible as a moral guide, or do you use it as a historical book?
I don't get
I would say it is more so a religious text. It has some history in it. But it's a religious text involved.
How reliable is the history?
I would not use it solely as a history book because it talks about a lot of things that aren't necessarily verified. Although I would say though, a lot of the things in the Bible were thought not to be true until they found, like, for example, the first people for a long time thought the Hittites didn't even exist, right? Because the only source for the Hittites for a long time was the Bible, until they later on found archaeology up there in Turkey, and they found the Hittite people. So there's a lot of things in the Bible that hasn't been confirmed, but that doesn't necessarily mean they didn't happen. It just means, like, right now they didn't find evidence for it. But
after 10 years, they'll find some new shit as well.
yeah,
They always
yeah.
find
So
something.
yeah, but
Jesus turned.
Nah, but he answered my question though. He pretty much answered my question. There's no
Interpret that
need.
paragraph for me, please. Hello, excuse me, hi.
Yo, what got it?
yeah.
You already, yeah, dude, what if you on camera like that, bro? On camera, welcome. Yo, brother, brother.
Oh, go on, fam.
Yo, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, but see, I would say
What's good?
Look, the Bible. Look, who is that? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Jizza. That's what it is, man. It's
See,
like,
I can agree with that part, but it's just Zulu was saying everything is 100% in the Bible. That's my argument. I'm just trying to find out if you agree with that, but you said no. So I don't. We don't have no argument. We have no disagreement. We're pretty much
right.
agreeing like 99% of what you say is just. I'm a more critical on it. I guess you're more subtle in what the words you use to describe its effectiveness.
This is 100% facts.
I want to get me. What's the facts, though? What are the facts?
The facts is man's ancestors went through slavery and it was predicted before it happened.
And still going through it, though, right? But yeah, the Israelites,
in the same extremes, but yeah, it is still going on.
In more worse extremes, if anything.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Worse than 1500s to up, like till it got abolished, like publicly and all that.
Well, to the picture they painted, no, but like to what's happening in reality, yeah.
Okay. Because I still think with the Arabs and that and them Africans over there.
You want to speak up, bro? Yo. Yeah. Yeah, you saying last thing you said something about Arabs or something, brother?
Yeah, no, I was talking about the slavery that's going on with certain Africans.
You might have to speak up. You're low, real one. You're low, bro. Speak up. I think I got next slide. I think I lost your point.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Slow, bro. Respect.
Same beefy. Beefy, fam, maybe it's your team, but these back here, man.
Alright, what are you guys? What's the topic? What are you man talking about?
Talking about the Bible. I heard them talking about the Bible.
Religion, Ultra.
I want to point this energy wise.
Ultra, go take a nap and come back, man. It'll be a different subject.
Is religion the downfall of black people? I think no.
I think Christianity is.
To some extent, I would say yes and no, but like for instance, like Christianity, what they portray it as is our thing in it, but how it's interpreted.
You reckon? Nah, I don't think none of it is our thing. I think that's foreign Greek and all that. They just
I don't think so. You know,
for instance, what's our thing?
You know why I don't think so?
Torah, innit? North African.
What's our thing? Everything. It's not voodoo though. It's herb. It's like that's what we know it as. But like all of these things are our things. The Bible, everything, fam, everything that we see is all in front of us. Nothing's hidden,
bro. It's not mine. It's not mine.
You don't know what's yours, man.
What's not yours? What's not yours?
It's not mine, bro.
What's not yours?
It's not mine, bro.
What's not yours?
It's not mine, bro. It might be yours, but it ain't mine, bro.
You say what's not yours?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm batting for team atheism right now because if I'm honest, like if you're gonna come at me with some fuckery about believe this or I'm gonna damn your eternal soul to fucking torture for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, that's some Christian shit though.
Fuck off. Just miss me with all of that fuckery.
I get that point. You can judge yourself. I see those people on the roadside that did that. What you just said, they do that to themselves.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. If there's a God, and he knows everything in advance, and already knows whether I'm fucked, and is telling me if I don't believe in him in the world that he made, knowing that he'd make me, knowing that I wouldn't believe, and he's going to condemn me, fuck all that. So hear what?
I ain't got that.
Fuck all that
Real
shit. Yeah, fuck all that. Because I'm funky red pilling up this bitch tonight. Yeah?
So can I respond to that?
Oh, for fuck's sake, not Alvin. I'm hanging up. No, go on, Alvin.
Yeah.
Ultra, you're gonna get that work now, Ultra. You gonna get that work.
I
want to know.
I'm gonna get hard. Alvin always fucks up my shit.
You know what everyone.
So look, I want to ask.
You know everyone in it though.
Where is this verse that says, if you don't believe in Jesus, you will burn in hell for eternity?
Don't say that. If you're not a born again believer, you said that you will burn in hell.
What is the verse? So what's the verse that says if you don't believe in Jesus?
Because to believe in someone, you got to know who they are.
Yeah. So I want to know the verse. This magical verse.
That's what I would say. Ali Selassie, they're Jesus.
Yeah,
the Ten Commandments tells you if you don't follow the 10 Commandments, you go to hell. So
I don't listen. I'm asking for this magical verse people have been talking about for the past 1,000 years that says if you don't believe in Jesus, you will burn in hell for eternity.
I can't tell the verse, but you should know that it says. I have the light in the way.
I want to know
wait, Alvin.
verse.
Hold on, guys. Wait, calm down, because Alvin is about to bust up some myths right now. Listen,
I just want
Alvin is gonna bust up some myths right now. So listen, just sit down, fasten your seatbelt, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Right, Alvin, listen. Let's just cut the fuckery. Does the verse exist?
No.
Okay, see, now we got something to it, because I kind of felt that's where we was going, right? Let me ask you a question, Alvin. If I don't accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior and murdered himself to sacrifice himself to himself to act as a loophole for laws that he created, right? What is the punishment for that?
The punishment, okay.
You, just like everybody else, will go into Hades. And in the final days, you will be called up. Hold on.
What's wrong with Pastor Alvin?
Okay, but hey, do you want the answer?
Come on, Alvin. Come on. I told you guys, fasten your seatbelt. Alvin, land. Alvin, land. Wait. Let Alvin land. Let Alvin land, please. Let him land.
Okay. So look, Revelations chapter 20 says you will be called up. There'll be people be called up from the sea, people that are sleeping, and people from Hades, which they translate as hell, right? They'll be called up and be judged according not to their beliefs, but according to their works.
Wait, Alvin, I don't know the verse, but I know I've read the verse.
Let's go to the verse.
Faith. It says faith. I can't remember the name, the verse, but it says you'll be judged on your faith and not your works.
Here, let's go to the verse right here.
Come on, baby.
I got the lyric.
Come
you
on,
see the verse?
Baby.
You see the verse right here?
Wait, let me see. Where's the verse? Yeah, come on.
Okay,
come on. Ain't the Bible based on homosexuality? Because it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So where's the woman?
That's a red herring, bro. That's a red herring.
We're not going to go with the red herring. So look, you see my screen, right? So check this out. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And then it says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, death and hell delivered up the dead which were in it, and they were judged every man according to their works. So,
brother, you're losing me. Mr.
Funky,
Yes, sir.
Even though I know what you are. I'll call you Funky today, though. That's what I'll call you.
Yeah, no, I'm free funky red pills, man. Free funky red pills today.
Free funky red pills. That's what I'm gonna call you. So
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is, you're going to stand before judgment, just like me, and you will be judged based upon what you did.
All right, let me just put it to you like this, yeah. I'm a wonderful human being. Even people that don't like me like me. Like, to not like me, you have to force yourself. You get it? Like, I'm also a charity. Yes, brother. You say, King. You're right, King. Yes. Right. I'm also a charitable person. I'm a beautiful person on the inside. On the inside, I'm beautiful.
On the inside, what do you consume?
To be honest, not great stuff all the time. Not great stuff all the time.
That's real.
Yeah, not all the time I create like good stuff, but like obviously.
Okay, ultra funky. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, why create Hades in the first place?
It's simply a holding place for souls until the final chapter comes.
All right, and let me just jump straight to the end of all my questions. I don't believe any of that stuff.
Okay, cool. Hey, look.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it works. You don't have to believe it.
No, wait,
I'm just telling you how it works.
no. You're telling me how you think it works.
No, I am telling you.
No, Pastor boy, I have a question for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you what's written. That's what I'm doing.
Is Real Yardy in the chat?
Yeah.
All right, Real Yardy. Basically, see earlier, I emptied the timeout clip on your ass. I emptied the clip.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Hold on, Real Yardy. Wait, bro. Let me land. Real Yardy, let me land. Please. Hold on, let me land. Let me land.
All right, make your plane land, man. Go on.
Yeah, right. I emptied the timeout clip on you. Emptied the clip, yeah? And do you know why?
Why?
Because I thought it was funny.
I know you're a gem for me. So
that word means
basically, right, the word I believe is correctly describes me is Gino. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying, you said Yardy when I said Pastor Boy. Let me ask you a question, innit? But obviously, I want to talk to the person who seems to be leading this conversation with the Bible, innit? Like you study the Bible, brother, so I'm gonna ask you something about it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Ask me anything.
The Bible says the herbs is for the healing of the nation. What do you consume? What do you put into your body? Yardy, where you eat? What did you eat today?
What did I eat today?
Yeah.
Well, Ultra had the first part right, and then okay.
Yeah, but he's not answering the question. He's not answering the question. He's not answering the question.
To be honest, I didn't even eat today yet. Actually,
that's good still. But what would you consume on a normal day then?
I like sandwiches. Turkey sandwiches. Turkey sandwiches are quite tasty. Every once in a while, I like rice. I like eating a lot of rice. Rice is good. I love rice. Chipotle.
So you eat a lot of starch and acidic food, essentially.
Yeah, I eat food. I mean, sandwiches,
food-like substances. Food-like substances, not food from God, which you're talking about in the Bible.
What do you mean food? I mean, so we're not supposed to eat rice?
I don't know if you should, but I know that I don't, and I'm like learning the Bible, and you're supposed to be pastor guy that's leading this.
No, hold on a second. Whoa. Pause. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. Every single one of us, without exception, is gonna dead. Right? We're all gonna die. Now just take a minute and let that sink in.
Except my brother says he's not gonna dead right now.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait, Alvin, let me land, please.
But you didn't let me land. I'm still in the air. I was talking to you.
You're talking about rice. You're talking about rice.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him where is it. I was going to ask him where in the text does it say you're not supposed to eat rice. That's what I was asking.
No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. Straight up.
Yeah, I don't know what's the problem with
What's that? Let's have free flowing conversation about where's the proof of this. I want to get involved as well. Come on.
Listen, all I'm saying is, listen, every single one of us is going to die, yeah? So, armed with that knowledge, don't tell me I can't go to my deathbed without consuming jerk pork. Yeah? Don't tell me that.
To defend the jerk pork.
That law.
He wanted to defend blood.
Okay,
listen.
so look. So
But how
I'm trying to...
you die if you ain't dead yet?
Hold on. I'm trying to understand the brother point. He's saying you're not supposed to eat rice?
I am now, sir.
Order here. We're gonna have 5 convos all at one time, yeah? Let's have one convo at a time, not everyone talking.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to understand what the brother was trying to say. I said I eat turkey sandwiches and rice occasionally.
What I'm trying to say is the food of God, innit? The food of God. This Bible, it talks about a lot of things in it, and you have to break it down because it speaks about a lot of parables.
Yeah, and he gave me things like turkey and
Jesus speaks in parables,
He gave you dominion over them. He gave you dominion over them.
Yeah, and I get to eat them too. So I'm trying to see.
Hey, Fire, you got the man them on set, boy.
The Old Testament says you can't eat meat. You understand?
The Old Testament.
Old Testament gives you a dietary law.
Bro, how do you observe Passover without slaughtering?
I never heard that before.
Sandwich. I didn't have Christmas.
Bro, explain Passover where you eat a lamb. You literally listen. You're commanded to eat a lamb on Passover. What do you mean you're not supposed to eat that?
Also, God liked the smell of barbecue.
He likes the smell.
He likes the smell of barbecue, so that means he was definitely black.
I mean, where are you getting that they didn't eat meat in the Old Testament? Where is that at?
Oh, by the way, I don't believe any of that Bible stuff.
Hey, real. Let's have your mic, bro. You're low. I can hear you. Swear down.
The bushes are your meds, and the fruits on the trees are your
Yeah,
food.
but he commanded Moses to eat the whole lamb before the morning in haste. Eat this.
Fire children, real. You turn your mics, bro.
You saying beef? You can hear me now, yeah?
The lamb was a sacrifice, not to eat it.
No, he had to eat it. It literally said, "Eat it in haste."
Eat it.
They had to eat the whole lamb, and if there's any lamb left over, you have to throw it away at the end of the night. I mean, at the end of the day.
And God loves the smell of barbecue.
Lamb is the reason why most people in the Arab countries are blind right now because of lamb, consuming lamb.
Blood.
Well,
Don't tell me about
wait a minute.
That's the Arabs, then, bro.
That's half of my Christmas dinner, bro. Don't piss me off.
Wait a minute, man. Do you understand what a pastoralist is? How are you a shepherd but don't eat lamb? How does this work? You're a shepherd of goats and lambs, but you don't eat goats and lambs. I mean, hey, I ain't got no problem with people that are vegan. Like, if you're vegetarian,
no, vegans are an abomination.
Vegans are hey, you what man said? Vegans are abomination.
Vegans, I would say, yeah, I agree.
All right, listen, this is what I'm saying, yeah? Go to TGI Fridays, order a 17-ounce steak, medium well with Jack Daniel's sauce, and then talk to me about veganism.
That's a joke thing, though, bro. You're just buying into their system.
Are you that, bro? Have you had Jack Daniel's sauce with a steak?
What,
Are you
Jack
trying
Daniels?
to upset me? No, bro. Only a man that ain't had Jack Daniel's sauce would say something so
And Jack
blasphemous.
Daniels, they stole that off a slave as well, bro. They stole that recipe off a slave. You get me? But how can you mix alcohol with fucking meat, bro? Ain't that gonna
no, of course not,
make
bro.
maggots?
No, I can tell you can't cook. I can tell you can't cook. Guaranteed.
Oh shit! You went there, bro.
With it, but fam, that's science and that. That's all science. You're getting into biology and that. We don't.
Bro, man,
if you put alcohol,
because if you eat an animal here and you kill it and it's in a stress position, you're taking on its stress as well.
If you put
You understand? You take on.
I will eat that animal stress if it's got Jack Daniel's sauce on it, bro.
So you're an addict. You're an addict.
Bro, this is ultra, man. Fire, allow it, man.
Wait a minute.
Don't even try it. It's ultra,
Hold on. Let me ask the brother. So when Abraham ate calf and cheese with God, he wasn't supposed to do that.
You don't even know if that's what it was really written as. How many
It
times?
says calf. It says he.
In how many
she prepared him a calf.
Damn the damn good.
In Genesis 18,
Him chew on the goat.
he's eating a calf. He's eating a cow with angels. The angels are eating the cow, a baby cow.
Also, just letting you man know in advance, God likes the smell of barbecue, and that's not my opinion. That's fact. That's
You know, they say there are gods.
Yo, I was
there
about
are
to say the
spirits
same
that
thing.
like certain things, you know. Like for instance, like Ogun. Like if you want to raise up that spirit, you have to do certain things.
Look, man.
Hold on, I'll be back. Wifey's calling. Sorry, man. One second.
Yeah,
Look, let me get the Lil for you. I got the Lil. I love that word. I love that word now. The Lil. All right, you see this Genesis 18, man. Now look, this 18:8, man. Now look, they prepared some damn calf chops, man. Look at this. So he took butter and milk and the calf which he had prepared and set before he stood. So they're eating this calf, and here's the Hebrew word, habakar, right? Right here. What is it?
I'm pretty sure in Genesis, sorry.
They're eating a cattle.
Was Adam and Eve eating meat? Adam and Eve. They wasn't. They wasn't eating meat, bro.
Genesis it gave them dominion. It said it gave them dominion. It didn't say eat them.
I don't think they were eating them either, to be honest.
Bro, Abraham sure was eating meat though.
Yeah, Abraham and them after
with the angels.
But that was insane. That was like.
But do you know when you say with the angels, yeah, you make it sound like it's good. There's bad angels and good angels, right?
These are the angels that you're saying these were bad. You're saying God is a bad angel? This is what he made.
Wait. Your point is invalid because the devil came from God, right? If you're going by the Bible terminology, and the devil was an angel,
high-powered angel, right-hand man.
So you're saying
no,
God must be yin and yang. God must be both. Because God killed the most people in the Bible. How many people did the devil kill in the Bible?
I'm trying to understand this man's position.
So, and he says that he's both, and he says that man.
In Isaiah 45:7, he says he's both.
Yeah, he says man can't tell him what to do with his creation. I mean, who are you to tell him what he can do or what he can't?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand the brother position. So look, so when you talk about, I don't know who was that, Real, he was correct when he said that, right? Yeah. So, dude, they're eating meat, man.
They was fucking it up, man.
I mean, they're pastoralists. Like, listen, you think shepherds just shepherd goats and cattle and not eat them?
Alvin, what do you think about Abel? Do you think Abel was eating the meat or just sacrificing it?
Man, he was eating that stuff, man. Now, listen, you could debate. You could have an honest debate about whether they were eating meat inside of the garden. That's an interesting discussion. But outside of the garden, they're eating meat, man.
I think they was eating meat probably after they ate the apple. So you know what I mean? Probably
wait, Alvin, I've got a question. I've got a burning question. Alvin,
in the beginning, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you're mad as hell, dog.
Alvin, listen. You see when God made
they talking about food and shit,
and
dog.
Fucking Adam and fucking Lilith. And fucking, and fucking Eve, yeah.
Can I explain that?
In their image, does that mean Adam, Eve, and Lilith all look like God?
No, let me tell you about Lilith.
That's the Gnostic scripts, right?
No. It's even worse than that. It's a satire in the alphabet. Hold on, it's in a book where they talk about farts and stuff. It's a hold on, let me get this book for you.
Yeah,
it's found in this book
toilet humor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's toilet humor. Yeah, the alphabet of Ben Sirach. That's where they get the legend, the alphabet of Ben Sirach, and they talk about funny, goofy stuff. Okay, like watch this. Here we go. This is written in 1000. Let me get the Lil right. So the alphabet of Ben Sirach, right? Medieval text inspired by wisdom of Sirach. It is dated between 700 and 1000 CE. Here's the funny part. Okay. The work has been categorized as satirical, and it contains references to masturbation, incest, and flagellants. So it's a funny, it's a comical thing. It's not it's a later comedic tale on Adam.
But don't you think that eating meat is a European thing though?
No,
Don't
man,
that come
stop
from?
the fuck, blood.
Don't that
Listen,
come from like the king having a big table with
Yo, in ancient Egypt they had meat. In ancient Egypt they were seen eating meat. They had pictures of them eating.
Bro, let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me get this.
In Quebec and Nubia, they have that.
Bro,
listen,
when
brother,
I was
listen.
in,
Cut the
hold on,
fuckery.
Ultra,
Yellow card.
let me land.
Yellow
Hey,
card.
1 person at a time.
Let me land.
1 person at a time.
Order.
Okay, so let me shut this down. When I was in Kenya, when the Maasai was calling me Mzungu and stuff, 90% of their diet is almost meat. They ate nothing but cow stuff. The Maasai milk and meat is all they ate.
Come on.
And they're super thin too. You would think them eating all that meat they would get fat, but they don't. They're tall and thin people, like they're strong, but they're like slender though.
That's right. Come on.
And like 80% of their diet is milk and meat.
Hey, listen. All I'm saying is, bro, listen. Go TGI Fridays tonight. Yeah.
Forget about TGI Fridays. The Bible, the timeline. What's the timeline for this?
Listen. As soon as Noah stepped off the ark, he licked down a fucking animal.
Cool. Let's talk about timelines then. Let's talk about timelines.
Wait. Whoa. Listen. The timeline is this. Noah stepped off the boat and licked down a fucking animal.
When did this happen? When?
Bro, listen, if I'm honest, I don't believe any of this actually happened. I'm just saying that's what's written.
Okay, I get you.
You get it?
Yeah, I get you.
I don't believe any of these stories, bro. I don't like. For me, it's all stories, and I don't be wrong.
If it are stories, I agree.
If it makes you a better person and it gives you a purpose and all that, I will never shit on you. All I'm saying is, come on. Go TGI.
I agree, they are, but not saying that the stories don't have valid points. It's just how you interpreted it.
Yeah, but then who is the authority on the interpretation then?
Not the people. That's the bullshit. Yeah, not the people that have it now and have been giving it to us.
All right, so who's the authority is my question. Not
who's authority. Is first and foremost that spirit that brought you into this conversation.
I'm not gonna lie, that was Hangouts that brought me in. It wasn't really a spirit.
If you want to look at it as that low vibration, bro, cool.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what you mean, bro.
They're spinning on a ball in space, fam.
Yeah, like if I'm honest, yeah, like I mean, until you can give me a viable alternative, I'm just gonna relax in my little square.
You don't want it though. You don't want to lose your comfortability.
Wait, who's talking right now? Wait, who's talking right now?
Bruv, you know who it is.
Oh, Real Yardy. Yeah, listen, I timed you out. Don't make me do it again.
Ultra, you're abusing your spanner, brother. Don't abuse your spanner, Ultra.
Do you know what it was? I had to get Real Yardy. You know why? Because it was funny.
Because he talks sense to me.
No, it's funny. It's funny. I had to get Real Yard.
Little points.
I had to get him.
Thought you get a kiss on the cheek or something, fam.
No, I'm married, bro. I don't step out of my yard. I don't step out of home, bro.
You must have thought you would have got an emoji or something.
No, I don't step out from home, bro. I don't step out of home. Ultra don't need nothing. Listen, hear what I'm saying, though. I'm the hardest. Because I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it 100 all the way % real. Like all the way %. Not 100%.
What, like putting fish finger sandwich in the microwave?
All of that shit there, bro. You know why, yeah? I did it with my chin up. You know why?
I know.
Tell me none. Unless you wanna teach me something. Unless you wanna like make me understand why I'm wrong.
But Ultra, come on, man.
Because
it's comfortable, bro. Don't act like you like this stuff, bro. You don't like when people give you the knowledge and the truth.
Bro, listen, I actually like when people make me use my brain. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Then think about it like this, yeah. Savior in the wild, yeah. There's no fire and things. Can you eat a piece of chicken without any seasoning and without cooking it 150 degrees?
No. If I'm honest,
because your body's not made for that. But a dog or a wolf can eat a chicken and just digest it. No seasoning and no cooking. You understand? But we can eat vegetables and fruits was made for us, was made for our digestive system. Look at the biggest animals in the world don't eat meat, bro.
No, I'm one of the biggest animals in the world, and I.
No, that's fact.
Elephants don't eat meat, bro.
No.
Giraffes don't eat meat.
No. Look, horses and all that. Them bitches will kick you all the way across the road.
And we got dominion over them, but they can hold their self, but we can't hold ourselves.
No, but check this out, yeah? I hear what you're saying, bro.
Wait, one more quick fact. Do you know girls in the Far East that eat vegan diets, they come on their period at 18, 19. Girls in the West come on their periods from 8, 9 because of the hormones in the meat and stuff. Acidic food. So
right,
it's scientific. This is science we are dealing with, you know. Man, not dealing with no Bible. Let's deal with science.
Wait, hold on a second. If a girl comes on her period at 8, 9, 10, so what?
What do you mean, so what?
So what? She has a period. She has a menstrual cycle. So
yeah, but she's going through bare pain now.
Who cares about
that? That's why the Bible says kids will be having kids.
You need to be consuming what we shouldn't be consuming.
Because of the diet.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, bro. You're going on like having a period at 8, 9, 10, 11 is fucking life shattering. It's really not.
You're not a girl, so how could you say that? Do you have period, man? You don't have no period, dog. You're going like you know, say about period.
You're behaving
like you bleed up in your panty. You bleed up in your panty.
But you're behaving like you actually know. I'm saying, what's the big deal? I'm not saying it ain't a big deal.
Every girl that I know hates their period. Fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. All right. Wait. Hold on. Every girl you know hates their period. Okay, so what?
So getting at a younger age, when they could.
If you're getting at a younger age, that means you're aging faster. Do you understand? That means your bio clock is aging faster.
Listen, bro. Listen. Cut out all the fuckery. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Right,
Ultra, bro. Come on.
Nobody's gonna live past 100. Right, we're all gonna fucking clock it at about 100, 110 tops. So so shit happens. It's natural. Your fucking usual lining has to chip away. So whatever happens, like
I understand what you're saying. You're coming from like a point of view, like you're coming from a Drake point of view. You only live once. YOLO. That's you're coming from that new age. YOLO. That's satanic, bro.
No, it's not new age. It's not
that is new age. YOLO. You only live once, so eat pork. That's what you're saying.
Bro, have you been to Jamaica? Have you been to Jamaica?
Yeah, I've been to Jamaica, and the Rastas in the mountain live the oldest that don't eat no meat, bro. That's fact on fact.
I'm happy for them.
They got Ross Kitchen on YouTube.
For them, but they weren't in my fucking resort.
You're scheming.
They weren't in my resort. Those guys in the mountains.
Up around there.
Right, and hear what I'm saying. The sweetest meat I ever had in my life.
Allow it, Ultra.
Jerk pork from Jamaica. Bam! Off the side of a lorry. And this is how scud it was.
You might as well eat human because pigs are closer to humans in the sense of skin and stuff, bro. Human must take meat as well.
Bro, if this was The Walking Dead, try know I'm chopping you up if I get hungry.
Oh, this guy, bro.
I'm chopping you up. If I get hungry and I look at you and I think, raw, you look good on the barbecue, you know.
Jack Daniels got some Jack Daniels sauce.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not one of these people that's gonna discriminate.
All I could say to you, if you ain't tried like an I2 or vegan diet, try it for a week and tell me how you feel. For 1 year, I could go see because when you're on a meat diet, you have to sleep for longer because your digestive system can't handle the meat. That's why you sleep for long. I can sleep for 4 hours, wake up fully energized. Because my bowel system, as soon as I eat, it comes out. It flushes quick. When you eat meat, that's why you probably sit on the toilet for all half an hour because you're shitting out the poop.
No, I sit on the toilet
and it clogs. That's where colon cancer comes from, my brother. Bro, that's why a lot of our people in Jamaica.
I don't sit on the toilet for half an hour shitting. No. Listen,
it's half an hour on hangout shitting on toilet.
Bro, listen, I don't shit on the toilet. As soon as I sit down,
you don't shit on the toilet. You shit in the bush.
No, hold on. I don't shit there in the toilet and then sit there for half an hour shitting continuously. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're on the toilet and you're shitting continuously,
talking about shitting, bros.
Bro, go and see a doctor ASAP. Yeah, because something's wrong. No one shits for half an hour straight. That's bullshit.
Nah,
Unless
pork
oh
has
my
its
god.
price though, man. Ultra. Eating pork, you gotta know what comes with the consequences. And obviously, if it tastes that nice, you risk it, innit? You risk it for that.
Yeah, bro. Like, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. The only difference between you and me is that when we both die, my coffin is just gonna be a little bit bigger than yours. That's it. That's it.
Raw,
You're saying nothing matters when you're dead. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. Fucking
So that's
What
like
about
saying
the pain you're gonna feel before you die, fam? What if it's a painful thing because of your diabetes or something?
diabetes is highest in the black community. You understand? Colon cancer. All these things come from our diet, bro. Comes from our diet.
I hear that, but listen to what I'm saying. We all gotta go sometime.
No, of course, but prevention's better than cure. So it's better we prevent these
You
things.
don't understand. Do you know what it is? Do you know? I'm not explaining myself. Basically, the way my mind's set up is, each and every single one of us has a bullet with our name on it. Like,
One hunter.
Yeah. Right now, I feel like you can try to dodge that bullet, but that bullet is still yours and it won't miss. So.
Yeah, but some bullets can just be in your head, you know, and it kills you straight away. And the next bullet can be rotting in your bones. You can't take it out. It's just rotting.
Bro, no, you don't understand what I'm saying, bro. You took the analogy to somewhere else, bro. Listen to what I'm saying.
Nah, brother, it's true because you're trying to.
No, but you're using about like bullets and hollow points and exploding and shrapnel and exit wounds. I'm not talking about none of that stuff. I'm just saying we're all gonna die, accept your mortality, and live as hard as you can until it's nap time. That's it. And like I said, the only difference between you and me is my coffin is just going to be a little bit bigger than yours.
Yeah, but what if because of what you're doing here might make you not enjoy a lot of the life that you got, the span, you know what I mean? So
what do you mean? What do you mean?
We've all got a bullet.
I look at America. Look how much obese people are in America that are so fat they can't come out of the yard, B.
They can't enjoy.
You know what I mean? That's because of a meat diet, bro.
Yeah,
you understand? That's because of the consumption of
those
meat.
are extreme cases, bro. Like, imagine this, yeah? I'm a bus driver, so my diet outside of my home is not great, right? But even now, as I'm speaking to you, I've walked from Camberwell bus garage and I just walked past Vauxhall station. I'm walking home. Imagine that.
Are you from NJ? Say nothing.
Yeah, I live in Battersea. That's what I'm saying. I'm walking from Camberwell bus garage to Battersea.
So you're balanced.
No, not to say you can't still be healthy with a meat diet.
No, don't get it twisted. I am not fucking healthy.
You put some pep in your step.
Oh shit, bro.
But alright then, brother, all I would say to you, yeah, because you probably ain't had the ITIL diet before, I'll say try it before you knock it. That's all I could say. Because I've had a meat diet.
Somebody told me, I spoke to somebody on Hangouts, and I'm not gonna lie, I love this woman to death. Like on Hangouts, I mean. She's like one of my favorite Hangout YouTube personalities. And she's a vegan. And she said something to me so fuckery. Like, I was questioning whether or not I could talk to her, yeah? She said to me, instead of having oxtail, like, make mushrooms. And I'm not going to lie, I wanted to be so violent when she said that to me because...
No, I'm not going to lie. That was one of the hardest things for me to let go, was oxtail and fried chicken. 100.
I would never let go oxtail. Never.
That's what I'm talking about.
But think about it though. You're eating an ox's tail, fam. That is disgusting, bro.
No, have you ever tasted?
No, I'll eat healthy. Listen, I respect everything you said. I agree with everything you said, but not the oxtail part. The pork. You can done the pork, but the oxtail, no.
I'm too far, man.
Do you know how much gelatine's in oxtail?
Yeah.
That's why it's so sweet. You gotta think, yeah, everything that's bad for you tastes good, fam. Everything that's proper good for you tastes bad because your taste buds have been programmed.
I like spinach, I like callaloo, I like kale, I like Brussels sprouts, I like broccoli, I like corn, onions, garlic. I like all that stuff. I like all that stuff, and for me, that stuff tastes good. Like, but when somebody says to me, any dish that contains mushrooms or celery, we cannot be friends.
But you know what? Yeah, I started eating what's it called? Southern fried jackfruit, fam. It tastes exactly like fried chicken. It's mad.
I'm not gonna lie. You sound like a crackhead right now, bro. You just said a fried fruit tastes like fried chicken. I'm not gonna lie, brother. You're gonna have to.
But you can't knock it till you try it.
Hey, but Aki tastes like meat, though. You can't lie. Aki tastes like meat.
Aki doesn't taste of anything.
You can make Aki taste like meat, man. You're crazy.
Yeah, you can season it. But you gotta think here. You can't eat raw. You can't just boil oxtail. Oh, my phone dead.
Ultra wins. If your battery dies, I win.
Ultra wins
That's
by
it.
default.
Yeah, there it goes. Bam. Who's next? Who wants this smoke? Huh? Who wants this smoke?
Ultra, you just try to out-talk people, man.
I know. It's working.
That's
as
all
well.
you do. You're not even.
Yeah, it's working.
That's what Ultra's doing, bro.
I will say, Ultra. There is something to say about a better quality of life if it is in fact finite, right? So, do you want to be 80 years old, bedridden, can't?
You're wasting your time. He don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you. He's just gonna tell you
Do
straight.
you know what I like about Yuchi? He just knows what the fuck is up. He does.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yuchi's just a
He's just
clued
gonna
up
tell
don,
you
you know.
straight.
Trust me.
You're gonna sit there breaking it all down. Ultra, you're gonna be on a bed breathing through a tube. You're gonna be in pain. He don't care.
Shit happens.
See what I'm saying?
Shit happens, and I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you. You do reap what you sow. No, listen. You do. I'm like, all joking aside, I'm well aware that you reap what you sow. So if you don't look after yourself now, you are going to be fucked up later. But at the same time, I'm probably going to be fucked up later anyway. I've got a bad knee, bad hip.
How did you get the bad knee, the bad hip, the bad ankle?
All right, the knee was from an angry ex-lover's older brothers and a baseball bat.
Oh shit!
And the ankle, I was going to get a haircut on my birthday. I wasn't wearing a belt. My trousers fell. I fell down the stairs, landed on my ankle, and it went to the right. My ankle went to the right. But the problem was when it went to the right, because I was falling down the stairs, all my weight came down on it. So the ankle went, and I made this really horrible, bitchy, pussy old feminine sound. But I didn't cry. That's important.
Did you go to the? Did you get it? Did the bones not heal properly?
Yeah, but like it still pains me from time to time.
That's just what comes with age, Ultra, man, and the cold as well.
My groin, I fucked it up on my R6. Oh man, look at this fuckery. Hold on. Look at this fuckery. Hold on.
Funky, you should be the first person to turn a robot, man.
Look at this fuckery.
Whoa!
Saturday night.
Yo, that's what that alcohol does, fam.
Blame it on the alcohol.
Ultra just stepped over him. Oh no! Come on, Ultra. You weren't even a good Samaritan there, bro. Wait, Ultra, I hope nothing don't ever happen to me and I'm around you, fam.
Hey, man, his boys wasn't feeling that. See, Ultra quiet right now.
Fucking hell, where's everyone gone, man?
I'm here.
I'm right
Beefy.
I'm here.
Look,
bro, you've been quiet for a hot minute, blood. What?
Hey, Beefy, I think you need an ad break.
You know Zulu's on Zulu's on Raspex thing, you know that?
He's a dickhead.
Oh, Zulu Muda. Hey, I want Zulu to take on the challenges, man. He gotta.
Oh, God,
I'm trying to groom
not
him.
Taking on nothing, man.
I'm trying to groom him. Into becoming.
Don't use that word groom, bruv. That word is got some bad negative connotations, bruv. School him. Say school him.
Hey,
don't
man.
say groom him.
in the
That
UK,
just does not
like
sound
rape.
right no more, fam.
Hey, man. There's so many things in the English language. Like, dude, I went down that path of every word is something, and then I can't. It's like, dude, like I already can't use mentor anymore. Okay. I don't use that word.
Mentor.
Man, mentor comes from Romans getting little boys, raising them up, and fucking while they're teaching them.
Okay.
That's where the word mentor comes from. So I can't use that word no more. All these words are getting taken away from me, man.
The majority of these Latin originated words are some
let's Beefy, come on, man. Come on, let's have some fruitful conversation, man. I'm trying to stay awake at the moment.
Look, check this out. We're gonna talk about regardless if you believe he existed or not.
No.
Okay.
He was one to give dawah. Allow it. I want to get in this Ellen
bro,
White.
Are you talking about God? Are you going to talk about Jesus, bro?
I was going to make a statement. If y'all want to talk about
go ahead, man. Go on. If I don't like it.
Alvin, you Christian?
I am a Bible believer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, no wonder. Now I
He said,
understand.
"Oh,
Now I understand.
you know when America says, "Oh shit," you know the shit hit the fan. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
I am saying, look, check this out.
Mhm.
Okay. The most important person, I'll say this, the most iconic figure in the history of mankind, in recorded history,
Mhm.
is Jesus. There is not an individual
I think that's
as far as
subjective.
impact and popularity.
That's
If you
subjective.
here's the test. If you erase Jesus from history, let's say there's no Gospels, there's now, because of Jesus, there's no Christianity, there's no that.
Mhm.
You now have to rewrite the whole history of medieval Europe. There
Europe?
is no theocracy. It is literally, so now Europe wouldn't be able to organize and build the Byzantine Empire. You also wouldn't even have Islam anymore. So there's no Ottoman Empire. There's no British Empire colonizing the whole world. The entire globe would be drastically different if you remove one person from history.
So what you're saying is Jesus is responsible for all of that.
I'm saying the movement that he began is responsible for all of that. Actually, it started there. And if he does not exist, the world as we know it today would be completely different.
But that's a big what
I
if.
agree.
Mate.
No, it's true. And I agree that the Jesus story is responsible probably a lot for the world that we know today.
Funky, you're just anti anyway. You'd rather everybody was happy-go-lucky and had Chewits.
I believe that the Jesus story is responsible for, or partially responsible for the world
So
that
you
we have
believe in
today.
something then, Ultra?
No, I don't believe Jesus actually existed, but I will concede that the Jesus story is responsible for the world that we know today.
That character, look, check this out. Whether you believe he existed or not, watch this. That character, you now don't have an Ottoman Empire. You don't have the Byzantine Empire. You don't have medieval Europe in general. Europe would still be broken up in tribes instead of Catholics and Protestants. You wouldn't have Puritans going to America, escaping the Catholics and the other Protestants in England. The whole map of the world would be drastically different if you remove one person from history.
Also, if anyone watches The Flash or has seen Back to the Future, you know that what Alvin is saying is correct.
Fucking hell, Ultra. Seriously.
So that's why I say he is the most iconic figure in recorded history.
Again, I'm going to say that's subjective.
No, I agree.
In terms, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to come in.
Fairy tale killing time.
I was wondering what was taking you so long, man.
Wait a minute.
Beefy, ad break. Ad break.
All right, listen. Beefy's about to come in. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Come on.
Now, man's making some fallacious facts here. Listen.
Plagiarism and shit.
Let's start with the first one, yeah? About being the most iconic figure ever in history.
That's the one that got me.
Okay, let's start, yeah? How long has the Bible been around?
2,000 years.
How long is the world history?
If we're talking history, I would say somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 years.
Millions.
No, we're talking history is when we start writing stuff.
Oh, you mean
down.
like recorded history? Recorded history.
Yeah,
No. Alvin. You see, again, you're being fallacious. You're only saying 6,000 because it fits the Bible narrative.
No, I'm talking about that's when we have records of writing.
No.
I'm telling
you're only
you.
going 6,000 because the Bible says so.
No, I'm
We've
telling
been around
you.
here for millions of years.
Okay,
Millions.
Ultra. Did we not say there's a difference between prehistoric and historic?
Forget about prehistoric or whatever.
The reason why
I didn't
say
hear you mention prehistoric and historic. I didn't hear you mention that.
Forget prehistoric.
Can I give you the reason why?
Listen, let me ask you a question, Alvin, please. Yeah, I'll let you have a little monologue.
But you're straw manning me.
I'm not straw manning you, bro.
Because my argument is not based on the Bible when you say history. My argument is we have our first traces of writing 6,000 years ago. So that's why.
Alvin, let me talk. Make my point.
Okay, go ahead.
I made my point. You already debunked my point I've made.
But okay, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, you say you're lying when you said world history. We know we've been around for millions of years. Okay, me as a Bantu people, we know we've been around here for millions of years. So now you take millions of years. How many people have lived in millions of years? A lot of people.
Do you understand?
Fish, bro.
Okay,
let me make my point, innit? You come in. Then we go to the Bible history. The Bible was written in Latin. That none of us were allowed to read it until when? 500 years ago. Something stupid. Then even that.
Okay.
When did it read until King James? When was that?
Okay.
Then people in the colonies didn't get it until they could read English. So now, when you say this is the most iconic book ever,
you see how I say the most iconic person, now it's the most iconic book? I actually could make an argument it is the most iconic book too.
Wait, now, when you say this most iconic person in the world history, bro, that's fallacious already.
So listen to, so you straw manned me on this point. I'm not saying listen. I'm not saying 6,000 years because the Bible says 6,000 years. I'm saying 6,000 years roughly. Actually, it's more like 5,500 years because that's the first evidence we have of writing. It has nothing to do with the Bible. People say history is when people start writing stuff down. The era before people, listen, according to historians.
Which historians?
That's history.
Which historian?
History is written record. That's why we have terms like prehistoric.
So
that means before writing.
All records are not history.
No, because history is when you have a documentation, a written documentation of something happening. When you don't have a written documentation of something happening, they call that prehistoric. So that's what they call it. It ain't got nothing to do with the Bible.
Okay, wait. So you're saying the Torah is prehistoric then, yeah?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying people started writing stuff down roughly around 3,500 BC. That's when you start getting the metadata. That's why you start.
I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you. So was the Torah first written or was it first transmitted orally?
It was written and then later went orally. They didn't keep the past, but we're not. It's not even the Torah is not even that old. It's the Torah at the oldest would be like.
That's the point. I just remember you said that, isn't it? That the Torah was written first. It never came.
I never said that. When did I say that?
What are you saying?
I never said the Torah was written first. I'm talking about history in regards to writing.
Listen. You see, you jump and play. Listen, please.
I never said the Torah was written.
Please, learn to listen. I swear down. It's hard to talk to fairy tales. People believe in fairy tales now.
Go ahead.
Let's jump.
But you're making claims.
No, listen. I'm saying, remember when you were saying that the Torah was never oral; it was written first. I just remember that, innit? You said that.
I never said it was. Dude, you don't listen to me. I said it was written and oral. So it was written down. But then those texts got destroyed. They maintained it orally, and then they rewrote it when they got back into Babylon. Ezra ended up writing the Torah.
So when I said to you, yeah, is oral history? You said no, it's prehistoric. So now when you think about Torah was lost, it was oral only. So I'm saying
the Torah wasn't written. The Torah is way younger.
Listen, what I'm saying. You try to be clever, but you're not gonna work with me, bro.
Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, man.
I understand what you said. Now listen to the question. You've said, yeah, first of all, when you're trying to be sneaky, you said when I said is oral history taken as history, you said no, it can't be, but it has to be written down. That's what it's called history. That's your words, not mine.
So I am saying based off how
you're changing, bro. Every time I say something else.
Can I say what I said? I said how historians judge history from prehistoric is writing. So if there is a written record that says this guy did that, that is called history in the field of historians. The time when there was no writing, okay, they call that prehistoric. So when I say history is about 5,000, 6,000 years, it's not because that's what the Bible says. It's because that's when we first start seeing Medu Neter, the Egyptian hieroglyphs. That's when we start seeing cuneiform and people writing and making documentations of what's going on. That's what I mean by history. Okay? They got nothing to do with the Bible. At least not right there. You know what I'm saying, Beefy?
You finished?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this fallacious point about the most iconic figure ever in history.
Jesus is the most iconic human being.
Okay.
To have ever walked the planet.
Okay. Let's get into Jesus, innit? Can you tell me the year he was born, the year he died?
Somewhere between 4 BC
somewhere
and 6
between.
AD.
The most iconic figure ever. You think it was somewhere between? Bro, on a date, bro. You need to be giving me a date, bro.
Yes. It's somewhere between that time. That's the estimate.
Somewhere between when?
4 BC. Between 4 BC and 6 AD.
Between 4 BC and 6 AD. What time? How far apart are those two things?
That's like 10 years apart, maybe 12 years apart, somewhere around there.
So no one's going to. So no one's going to date for his birthday.
I'm saying it's between. This is how we date all historical figures. Like
no, bro,
you get estimates of dates.
No. I'm not asking you that. So don't go into another.
Okay, but I'm just saying, why is that?
I'm asking you, do you have a date for his birthday? Just say yes or no.
I just said we have an estimate, but I wouldn't give you an exact date.
You don't have a date.
It's an estimate. No, we have an estimate.
You don't have a date. Okay, that's cool. That's all you have to say, innit? You don't have a date. Yeah. Do you have a date for when he died?
Well, that would be incumbent upon the day of his birth. So some propose 30 AD, but most say 33 AD.
Oh my days.
So you have in history.
Alvin,
please. So Gressler, I'm trying to explain to you. Listen, Gressler, in history, you have a thing called margin of error. Okay. So when you date things in history, you will often see somewhere between this date and that date. So when you talk about, hey, when did the writing first happen, right? They won't say 32 BC, 3200 BC. They'll say between 3500 and 3000 BC. They'll give you a range. So what I'm saying in history,
I understand that.
So therefore, with Jesus, the birth date is somewhere between 4 BC and 6 AD. The death date is somewhere between 30 AD, and some has even estimated made as 38 AD. So you have a range.
You finished?
Yes.
Okay. The fact still remains you have no date. Let's carry on. Yeah?
I do have an estimate, though.
Oh, fucking hell.
That is an estimate, just like how we do. I don't know if you look at historical books, but this is how they speak in historical circles. You get an estimate of a date because very seldom will you get an exact date.
I don't care how they speak. If you haven't got a date, you haven't got a date. Just say you haven't got a date. I don't care estimated. You don't have a date. That's the fact.
I gave you a date.
Give me a date then. What date was it?
Between 4 BC and 6 AD is an estimate. Those are two dates.
I'm not going mad. Everyone is mad. I'm not going mad. Answer my question, please. Press 1 if you say
I'm saying that I'm giving you an estimate.
Everyone on the panel, please. I'm not going mad. Is he answering my question?
So estimates are okay. So estimates are okay. So in history, you're not allowed to give estimates.
Bro, I'm asking for a date. I'm not having in history.
I'm giving you a date. Here's the estimate.
Hey, look. You only make your rules as you go along, bro. You make rules.
Do you understand there is a difference?
I don't understand. All I want you to ask my questions. I don't want a history lesson. I don't want that. All I ask you, do you have a date of when he was born? You don't.
Between 4 BC and 6 AD.
In between is
okay. To further along the thing, I have an estimate, not a precise date.
Alvin, when were you born? I was
born in 1983. But I
Huh?
have a birth certificate and things
No,
like that.
wait,
We're
wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait,
2,000 years ago when they
wait,
didn't have all of those
wait,
things.
Alvin. Chill. Why can't you let one talk? Fuck's
Okay,
sake.
go ahead. Go ahead.
When someone says, "BB, how old are you?" I don't say I'm between 45 and 55 years old. When were you born? Between
Because you live in the
1966 and
modern
1986.
era.
You don't say that, G. You give a date. Yeah? So when I ask for a date, I ask for a date. I don't in between. That's not to me, that's not a date. To you, that's a date, but you want to believe in fairy tales. For me, I deal with facts. Something I can prove.
Okay, so you do understand not everybody in history has a precise date. Like Confucius, they don't have a precise date. They give you an estimate. They say somewhere between 500 and 450 BC. Okay, so in history, you very seldom get pinpoint exact dates. What you do is get estimates. So so what I'm saying is that you don't compare it to today where we have modern technology and birth certificate and a government system that keeps all that stuff. We're talking about 2,000 years ago where people's writing stuff on animal skin. Okay, so you get an estimate. And I'm saying there's an estimate.
Was the calendar in the time of Jesus?
I am saying the time of Jesus.
Was there a calendar in the time of Jesus? Yes or no?
They had a Gregorian calendar, but it is even different than the calendar we have now.
Were the Romans recording things and dates and times? I'm sure you have the records.
But they weren't recording peasant Jews in Galilee. They were recording themselves. They took census, but do not compare the specificity and the technology of census taking of today of census taking back then. We're talking about peasant Jews that some of them don't even have houses. They get rusted. They will look in a group of crowd people. Okay, that looked like about 100 people. We're going to put 100 people there.
So what you're saying to me is that history is very unreliable. It's all made up shit.
No, history is about likelihood and probability. Very seldom.
Yeah, made up shit.
You see the very seldom. Hold up, listen. Very seldom will you see the word fact. What you'll see is things like this is the most likely scenario, or that is unlikely, or there's no evidence for this. There's some evidence for that. History does not deal
with but because Alvin, listen, because you talk slow and you talk about for 10 hours, you're not making a point. You don't sound clever. Just bring yourself and it gets boring.
I'm being myself. This is how I talk. You know how I talk.
But you say the same thing over and over again for 10 minutes. Don't make sense. I get the point in two sentences.
Okay. So you don't like
point, bro. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
so you don't like my estimates, whatever.
Can I talk now? Let me give you a reason why I don't like what you're saying. Mm-hmm. To me, you're saying this is the most iconic figure in history.
Yes.
The most. Yeah. Then first of all, you tell me you don't know when he was born. You don't know when he died. Let me talk, bruv. Stop catching me up. Yeah. You don't know when he died. You're telling me that history is all hearsay and you can't rely on it. But they know the most iconic figure in the history. This book is telling us about this most iconic figure. We don't even know he existed. But you're telling me he's the most iconic figure ever in history. Now, when you talk about history, you talk about European history or African history. Let's get into that.
Okay, so what I'm telling you is, do we have the exact birth date of Ramses II?
Bro,
so there we go. We have.
Listen.
You made the claim. Alvin, you made the claim that he's the most important figure. Why you talking about Ramses?
I don't know about Ramses. We know about Jesus.
Hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, being the most iconic person in history does not then equal you have to be spectacular in everything history, and you must have precise, pinpoint, accurate historical facts about all facets of his life. That's a straw man argument. The reason I'm saying he's the most iconic figure in historical history is that if you remove him from history, the world you live in today is a completely different world. If I remove Elvis from history, not too much changes now. You know, if I remove Plato from history, everything is pretty much almost the same. You got other Greek philosophers. But if you remove Jesus from history, there's no Islam, there's no Byzantine Empire, there's no Ottoman Empire, and now instead of a Christian theocracy, you have a
let's deal with one at a time, please. Don't make all these claims.
That's my
what Alvin.
But that's my argument. I'm just saying that's my
okay. But let's deal with one thing at a time, innit? We're getting to this argument. Don't worry, we're gonna get there. Yeah. But first of all, if we can prove all these other things, we have to know this cat really existed. When it came into existence, when it came into the books, then we'll know exactly the impact it had, isn't it? Is anything wrong with that?
No, because you're not understanding the argument. Regardless, let's still be beefy. Regardless if the Jesus character existed or not, if you remove those 4 gospels from history, the world you live in does not look like what it looks like right now.
Listen,
if you remove that guy from history, you now have a pagan medieval Europe as opposed to a Christian medieval Europe. You don't have the Crusades, no Spanish Inquisition, no Satan witchcraft.
Alvin, I know you like talking.
Completely different.
Let's deal with one fucking point at a time. Fuck all that stuff in front. Let's deal with Jesus first. Yeah, but you're trying to run away from the fact the little claim you made is the most iconic figure in history.
And I get that's the reason. So I gave you my reason for why I said that.
I don't want to deal with those other things. One thing at a time, please.
That was the reason, though. That's why I say he's the most iconic.
Oh my days.
Because the domino effect of his non-existence is more impactful than
you know who's the most iconic for me? King James. He's the most iconic.
How can King James exist? King James is nobody without Jesus.
Let me tell you, innit?
How can King? Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you. Now, let's talk about facts now, innit? You were talking about hearsay. We're not going to talk about facts. Yeah. Without King James, there's no English Bible.
So without Jesus, there's no New Testament. How can there be a King James without? What is he translating? Look, if Jesus not existed, what is King James writing about?
Kill yourself, man. Let me make a point.
Okay, go ahead. Ad break.
Please don't cut a point here. Don't cut me off here.
Okay, my bad.
Because first of all, you said this guy is maybe Jesus lives, but you don't know if he lived. Yeah. So we don't know when he came into history.
I didn't say that.
Bro, let me talk. I'll make a point. Debate me if you want to.
Go ahead.
We're putting holes in your argument.
My bad. I keep cutting you off. My bad. Go ahead.
First of all, we've established we don't know if this guy really existed. We don't know if he's really, we don't know if we just don't know about him. We could have lived. We don't know his death, birth. We don't know all this. I said, cool, fine. Let's deal with facts. History we know happened. I know for a fact, without King James translating the so-called Bible, so I don't read Latin, I don't read Greek, I don't read other languages, so I don't know what was translated into what. All I'm saying, what we know, King James commissioned the Bible into English. This is the Bible, this is spread around everywhere. So this story in the Bible about Jesus, I don't know if it was put by King James or always existed, because we don't have a record of Jesus. Am I wrong in saying this?
You missed Alvin's point.
Okay. So here's the point. There is no Protestant church without Jesus. So there can't be a King James to translate anything without Jesus. How can you have him translate something that doesn't even exist? My argument is that if Jesus no longer is existing, there's not even a Henry VIII. There's no European theocracy. You have a pagan medieval Europe as opposed to the papal system. There's no more pope system at that point.
I won't get there. Don't worry.
So what I'm saying is,
Rob, you see, you're making another point. Please, let's do one thing at a time.
Let me land. So my point is this simple. The effects from removing that guy from history is more impactful than anybody else. That's the point. I'm done. Go ahead.
So, Rob, you claim that he's the most iconic figure ever in history. You have to bunk yourself, bro.
How did I do that?
You're saying he's just a character in a story. You're telling me.
Huh?
You're telling me he's just a character in a story.
No, I didn't say that. I'm
Yes,
saying Jesus, the person.
No,
If
no.
you remove that person
Well, you haven't proved the person.
from history. Okay,
He's a character.
okay. So let's talk about the person.
He's not
Okay.
a person.
Okay.
He's a character.
So hold on,
Harry
okay.
Potter is a character. He's not a real person.
Okay, so let's talk
Yes,
about
Superman
him
is a
existing, okay?
character. They're not real people.
Okay, so let's
Batman
talk
is
about
a character, not a real person.
okay, so let's talk about him actually existing. Okay, so if Jesus doesn't exist, who founded Christianity?
But Ptolemies. How about that?
Okay, where's the record of them finding Christianity?
Council of Nicaea, Serapis, Order of Serapis.
The Ptolemy dynasty had been done for over 300 years by the Council of Nicaea.
Actually,
Dude, there was
the first Ptolemy dynasty was before.
Bro, there is no Ptolemies during the Council of Nicaea.
Before. The Council of
Okay,
Nicaea, that was the third Ptolemy dynasty.
Council of Nicaea is 600 years later. So listen, I'm asking you.
Bro, can I clarify a point? You see, I made one point, you cut me off. Talk, and then you're talking, you finish. Go on,
I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm done.
No, you talk. When you
Okay,
finish,
what I'm asking you for is show me the documentation where people are saying Ptolemy is the founder of Christianity from antiquity. Where is that documentation? I can show you plenty of references that say Jesus is the founder of Christianity. You show me documentation that says Ptolemy is the founder of Christianity.
Okay. Simple for me, yeah. When you give me the proof of Jesus' death or birth, I'll give you the proof of the Ptolemy.
You see how you just did that?
Chill,
You see. Listen, there's two. Okay, I'm telling you.
Please. Yeah. Because I don't know how you can come and when I ask you for a date of birth, you're talking about hearsay. You want me to give you
okay, so look.
Anyway, let me get a point.
Hold on. See, you. Beefy, that was slimy. That was really slimy.
I haven't finished.
That was a very slippery, slimy.
I haven't finished talking.
That beef ain't kosher, man.
I know it's not. I ain't Jewish. But let's digress. But listen, yeah, this is the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, the first Ptolemies, yeah, were given the order of Serapis. This time there was no Jesus Christ, nothing like this. They went to Greece. They formed the religion of Serapis that flourished over Greece and Rome. Yeah. Then in the third dynasty of the Ptolemies, yeah, when they broke up from Rome and all this thing Constantinople was fighting in Rome, that's when they go to the Council of Nicaea. Then they made this character called Jesus.
So why is Serapis Jesus? How did you come to that conclusion?
From Serapis became Jesus in the theology.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, first of all, let's say it's St. Paul's Basilica built on the Temple of Serapis. I think it is.
So what?
St. Paul. Let me finish, bro. St. Paul Ptolemy sounds very familiar, but hey, I must digress. We don't know if this Paul character existed.
Hold on.
Is Paul real? Or you can give me another. He lives between and he lives between. What are you gonna do? Did Paul exist? Are you there, bro? Got your tongue. Yo,
Alvin. Hey, but Ptolemy name was St. Paul?
Look, bro. Look at this. Yeah? All I'm saying, yeah, if someone can show me who this Paul character is, you see, that's the problem with the Bible. It's filled with a lot of hearsay. Yeah? When you try to pin the person out, who is this character? Well, this guy, he could have lived between here, and he could have lived between here, this. But the person you're talking about is real. Really? Yeah, no one could date of birth for Jesus. But we can follow the Ptolemies in the order of Serapis in Rome, in Greece. Yeah? Then the Ptolemies, Google Serapis. Anyone can just Google Serapis. It's not joke thing, bro.
Yeah, I heard that argument already. Yeah.
Google Jesus and Google Serapis and see the same thing come up. Don't come on, people. I'm not saying no names. Google at the end right now to Google Jesus, then open another tab, Google Serapis, and see the images and go to images, see what comes up. Yeah, I don't hear no hearsay. Someone then come on. He said himself, this is the most iconic figure in history. That means this person must have lived.
And Serapis was created because they needed a white god to represent the Greek population in Egypt.
Oh, hold on, crush this Serapis thing.
Because
I need a causal link that demonstrates Jesus is Serapis.
I just told
Where
you.
is that in antiquity? You're saying Jesus is Serapis because you say Jesus is Serapis.
You're telling me Jesus lived, but you're not tell.
But what I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm saying.
You don't have to believe in it. I told you not to believe in it, but I like the trick to play. Show me, but you don't show nothing.
Okay, I'll show. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you something.
Show me the birth first.
I'm gonna show you something. So listen.
No.
I don't have to know the date of some.
Listen.
Do you want me to answer or do you want me to?
No, boy. Listen. This is what I'm saying. If you want me to go and I've got to research, but I ain't going to waste my time. Yeah, proving things to you when you can prove one thing to me. So now,
okay, can I prove the thing to you? Can I prove the thing to you without you cutting me off?
No, let's keep moving on, bro. Let's keep.
Well, hold on. You don't. Why are you running away?
How are you going? You see, you keep diverting. We're going from Jesus.
I'm trying. You're asking me to prove
Jesus.
You're asking me to prove. I want to prove it to you. Can I respond and prove it to you?
Tell us
so what I'm telling you. Okay, so this is what it is. So if you look at the book of Luke, okay,
who's Luke?
It gives in the book of Luke, it gives.
Yeah, who's Luke?
How come you want me to give you dates and then when I start talking, you cut me off? So what I'm telling you is this, okay? So there's 2 dates given, right? So in the book of Luke, it gives a date of 4 BC, right? Roughly based upon the reign of Herod. And in the book of Matthew, it gives a date of 6 AD. Now, this is what's important, okay? We have a religion in the 1st century AD, right? That the people of Antioch called Christianity, okay? Every single document we have on that group of people that were originally called the Way sect in the Nazarenes, but the people in Syria called them Christians, right? Every single document we have on that group says this guy, Jesus, is the founder of that religion. You can look at Justin Martyr, you can look at Clement at Rome, you can look at Irenaeus, okay? So what I'm telling you is there are documents from antiquity saying Jesus is the founder of Christianity. Show me documents that usurp Jesus as being the founder of Christianity. I'm done.
Listen, I ain't gonna go and pull up the Leo. It was rough. All I'm gonna say, let me talk in it. I told people already. Go and check out the Order of Serapis. Yeah, and this Google. Anyone can do the challenge. Google Jesus. Yeah, on one tab. In another tab, Google Serapis. That's all you gotta do. And go to the images and see what comes up. That's what I'm gonna say to people in it. Yeah. But now we're going back to Jesus. Now you're gonna give me another character called Luke. Who was Luke? Where are you getting this information from?
There is a book written roughly around 70 to 80 AD called the Gospel of Luke.
That book, how long after Jesus was that written?
Roughly 40 years.
40 years. And this is an eyewitness account, yeah?
Mm-hmm. What you say?
40 years later. 40 years
yes, 40 years later. Yes.
The eyewitness account comes out.
Yes, 40 years later. And I'm asking you for any account saying
no. Wait. I
mean, I give you
wait. Chill, man. I want you to hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The eyewitness account came out 40 years later. After the
If
fact.
you're 20 years old in 30 AD, you're only 60 and 70.
Okay.
So yes, you're still alive.
And it took him that long to write a eyewitness account.
Yes, because they didn't have Excel and WordPress back then. You actually had to get sheepskin and partridge and stuff to write stuff. Very expensive endeavor.
Okay. So since you know, since you know exactly the day that gospel was written, how come? So do you know when the guy died, Paul or Luke? Do you know when he died or where he lived?
No, we have a text that is called the Gospel of Luke. And in that text, it says Jesus is the founder of the way cult.
Okay, I'm hearing
Now,
all that.
I'm asking you,
Forget
you've asked me 5 questions.
Bruv, listen.
It's my turn.
Listen,
you done
no,
asked,
no.
You're
Wait,
asking all the questions,
we're
but you
dealing with
don't
your
want to
claim,
answer
innit?
none of mine.
Bruv, we're dealing with
You're
your
not
claim about
answering
Jesus.
none of mine.
No, Alvin, we're not going to switch it. We're not going to switch it around. We're not switching it around.
We're having a discussion. You
wait,
asked me a question, then I asked you a question.
Wait a minute, Alvin. We're dealing with your claim that Jesus is the most iconic.
Right, but you have to, in a conversation, you ask me a question, then I ask you a question, then you ask me a question, then I ask you a question. That's a conversation.
No, we're talking about Jesus. So I don't know about Jesus.
Yeah, but I would, but
you believe? I'm asking you the question. No switcheroonie, no fast tricks today. I'm not buying it.
There's no tricks. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Sorry. Today you're in the hospital. Today you are in the hospital. Bible Killer Beefy is going at you today. Yeah?
Straw Man Beefy. That's your name. Straw Man Beefy.
Let's get with this, bro. Let's get with this. Yeah. Now.
So now we're going on a red herring about Luke.
Now, if you mention the name, I'm gonna go with it.
It's a red herring. Because the topic of the conversation is about Jesus. And I'm trying to ask you, where does it say Serapis is Jesus?
Let's talk, bro. Forget about Serapis, isn't it? Let's talk.
But you just
let's talk.
That's your explanation for.
Can I talk?
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah. I'm debunking you.
Man, Joe, what are you doing, man?
This Luke character I'm mentioning, the reason why I'm mentioning him, so I qualify, listen why I'm mentioning him, was if you're gonna tell me this is where you get your information for, that this guy is a founder of this religion, I want to know, why I'm asking about Luke. Is Luke, look, this is what I know about Luke. Is he the author of the book? Yeah.
There is a book.
Let me finish the answer.
You just asked me the question.
I didn't go forever, so I'm gonna give you enough to talk about. Let me give you enough to talk about. Without enough talking here. So let me give you enough to talk about. Okay. Yeah. What I want to know, first of all, is Luke the author of the gospel? Yes. First of all, and secondly, where did he live and where did he die? But I know he ain't gonna date of birth for him or date of birth, just hearsay. But if you can give me those two information for me.
Can I respond?
Your floor is yours.
Okay, so the Luke character is not the central theme of my argument. The book of Luke, right, may have or may have not been actually written by a guy named Luke. My argument is that the book of Luke is a document, regardless of whoever wrote it, that says this guy, Jesus, is the founder of this way sect. What I was asking you is to do what I just did. I'm giving you not just the book of Luke, but the book of Mark and the book of John. Those are at least 3 gospels, right? Dated to antiquity, saying this guy, Jesus, is the founder of that, okay? I'm asking you for it's my turn. Wait a minute. You're cutting me off. Please let me finish. What I'm asking you is to show me any document written by, I don't even care who it's written by. You have the freedom. It could be written by Julius Caesar, for all I know. Give me a document that says Serapis is actually Jesus. I will take it from anybody. The author could even be anonymous. So do you have that documentation dated to antiquity where people are saying Serapis is Jesus?
No.
So why are you saying Serapis is Jesus?
Well, that's funny.
Exactly. That's your.
I'm finished now. Can we get back to Jesus now? This guy tried to do the switcheroonie. Don't work with me.
No other claimant that is claimed to be the founder.
Okay.
Then we would have to find somebody else.
Okay,
Jesus
but I know,
is the most likely
what,
culprit.
listen, I know what you're trying to do, yeah? You're trying to put the heat on me. Okay.
I'm
I don't
not
know.
trying to do that. I'm trying to have a
I've asked you a question. I haven't got the documentation. Is that good with you?
Look, so what I'm saying is, so if you don't have the documentation, why continue to say Jesus is Serapis?
Okay, let's go and deal with this look then. Let's go into look then, innit?
We have no paintings of Jesus. We don't know what he looked like.
Wait. Chill.
We have no contemporaneous artwork of Jesus.
One step at a time. You're not gonna knock me off my square. Yeah, you know I'm gonna break it down slowly.
Beefy.
Yeah.
Hey, Beefy, let me take this call. Get that. Let me take this call and be right back.
Yeah. It's how you deal with the religious folks, one step at a time. And don't let them try do the switcheroonie on you. That's the one good trick they like doing. You ask them about the thing, they want to start asking you questions. Like, what the fuck? Really? Not with me. Press up the like button. Your friendly Fredo killer is in the building. Hey.
Hey, Beefy, are we still live?
Yeah. Come on, Funky. I thought you'd be getting involved in the music. Why am I echoing?
Beefy, what's the name of the show? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
No. Saturday night mixed panel discussion.
Okay, so look. This is what I'm saying, and I'm trying to get back to the original statement that I made. And here's the rationale. Okay, the medieval Europe was ran on a theocracy centered around Christianity.
No, forget about Europe. Let's go one step at a time.
This is my
You're
argument.
gonna lose me. You're gonna lose me.
I'm trying to present my case. Can I present my case? I'm just presenting my case. So when you look at the history of Europe from like 600 AD to like 1700 AD, right? It is ran on a theocracy centered around Christianity. You have a popal system with the Pope and all of these things, right? And you have Christian kings, and they enforce the Christian law. Okay? If there is no Jesus, all of that changes, and you still have Vikings and Celtic and Norse and even Greek and Roman religions still being around in Middle Age Europe, which then completely changes the history of what's happened in the past 1,000 years. So that's the case I'm making for why I say Jesus is the most iconic person in history, because if you remove him, the whole shape of what the world is looking like today is changed. That's the argument.
Okay, first of all, I'll say I would agree with the argument if you said the character. When you say person, it changes the whole burden.
For the sake of argument, we'll just say character. Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay.
Cool.
If you said it, okay, fine. See, now, Beefy, was that so hard? Listen, I'll be trying to build.
No.
I don't be trying to debate. I just be trying to build.
No. Alvin, listen. You said the most iconic person ever. So, bro, I got to challenge that. If I don't challenge that, I'm done.
That's fine, but you get what I was trying to say. I'll take it.
Even though
you just said you got what I was trying to say.
No, I say I'll take the character, but I'll say it maybe in today's world, maybe he's the most iconic. I only think so. Muhammad is catching up. Muhammad is catching up fast, and Allah. So I don't think so. But
okay. So would you agree? Most people know the Jesus story more so than they know the Muhammad story.
It depends where you live.
Like if, well, that's true too. I don't know how. Well, I don't know. In England, they might know the Muhammad story kind of well.
Yeah, because a lot of people
Is it the most popular name in England, Muhammad?
At the moment, they say yeah.
That's crazy.
But that to me, that doesn't make sense. How can 2% of the population have the name of that? You see, there's no propaganda in that. If you actually use critical thinking, that don't make sense.
I'm trying to see how that happened. So
I think it's in London. I think it's in London where there's a lot of, but I don't think it's in the UK. That doesn't make sense.
So how did I was trying to ask, how do you think that? So it's just in London. It's the most.
I don't know how it works, but it to me doesn't make sense. But people run with it. Yes, stats.
Do you have a lot of Muslims in your community?
Yeah, a lot of Christians are more than it's 50-50 really. Well, most times you can't tell if someone's a Muslim or Christian. So what do you do?
How many atheists?
I can't tell either. No one walks around saying that.
So Beefy, you're not really an atheist though, right?
You are the atheist. You're the theist. I'm not an atheist. You are the atheist.
No, I was asking you. You're not an atheist.
I'm correcting you. I'm not an atheist. You are the atheist. Atheist.
Okay, so you're not an atheist. Okay,
let me break down in it. Atheist is someone who believes in theology like yourself.
Oh, we're playing the etymology game.
Yeah.
Look, I'm talking about you believe in a God. You don't believe in the Bible God.
I don't believe in theology, no. I don't believe
you don't
in
believe. You don't think of God. Okay, so you are.
What you mention the name God? You're believing in theology. I don't do gods, bro.
Okay, do you believe in a creator?
I don't believe in a creator.
Okay.
I believe in a higher consciousness. I'll be very precise in my wording. I believe in a higher consciousness. Because I'm a creator, you're a creator. I do not see God or whatever.
Is there?
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I do not know how your God or the person you claim as God coming down creating anything. That's my first thing. So, but I think we are the creators. I'm the creator.
Okay, so did a thinking being create this universe?
Who said it was created?
So the universe is eternal?
I don't know. It could be.
Okay. That's a fair question. Okay. All right. So you'll be more on the agnostic side then.
You see, in my culture, I know what I know, but I cannot explain to you. So I cannot talk about things that to you. You can't explain. I can explain. I cannot tell you things you cannot understand. But to me, just honoring my creator, because I don't know my full creator myself.
So you do have a creator.
I'm putting in what you understand, isn't it? Yeah, lingua franca.
I know the Maasai had a creator. They worship Ngai.
That's the Maasai.
That's guy. And they believe he lived on top of Mount Kilimanjaro, and he gave them dominion over all the cows in the world.
That's their minute.
And you know what? I believe them. Why not believe them? It's their culture. I'm dancing. You think I'm playing? I don't think they just made it up. Like, I think something happened that that did convince them that there is some kind of entity on top of Mount Kilimanjaro that spoke to them. Because if you notice, there is a habit of gods ending up on mountains. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the God on the mountain telling the people to do stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say, because when I was there was some people that said they saw him, right?
If you live in the savannah where there's no mountains, no big mountains, you'll pick, innit? You never meet God. So if you live in a savannah where no low mountains, you could never meet God. Maybe that's why we never know God now.
Because Mount Kilimanjaro is a volcano. It's an active. It hasn't erupted. It could